Is he okay? This is it. Does he remember the choreography? Is he nervous? Is he okay? Does he remember the choreography? This is it. This is it. What he's been working for.
Okay, so let me tell you how I was accidentally, on purpose, involved with the Millennium Tour 2019. Here we go. Quick disclaimer that everything in this series about the Millennium Tour is my opinion. It's from my perspective. Everything that I experienced was through my eyes, of course, but also through the experience of my client. If you hear anything that sounds suspect, everything is only allegations. I am not stating that anything is 100% truth unless it is coming out of my mouth from me. Just also know I may, from time to time, change up some names. There's certainly a lot of stuff that I'm going to leave out. I'm not going to divulge anything too crazy. For obvious reasons. I don't get down like that. So stay tuned. It's still going to be really good and I'm excited to share. Everything really started in August of 2018 when I was working on a project for the business that I own with my family, my mom and my sister, called the Hughes Company. So we were putting together an event for the Super Bowl February 2019 that was going to be in Atlanta, and I was doing my thing, what I do. I'll do another video about that, and just so happened to run into Raz B of B2K. I came across his Instagram and it looked like he was in the US, and I knew, or I thought I knew at that time, that he was living in China. So I was like, let me scroll up a little bit more and see what's popping on his page. And he was promoting like this new adult beverage, kind of like a Arbor Mist sort of thing. That was like his next little business venture that he was marketing. So I sent him a DM because I wanted to have him and the product at our event for the Super Bowl. From that first initial reach out, me and Raz started talking every single day. We were just talking about business stuff, different projects. He would call just to like bounce an idea off of me and see what I thought. And it just sort of progressed from there in terms of us working together. Now, early on, just like really quick in passing, he did mention that he was trying to put his group back together, like trying to do a reunion show or whatever. And I was like, okay. Because if you know the history of the group, you know that there's a lot there. But also Fizz had been on Love and Hip Hop trying to put the group back together, and it just did not work.
And when they brought up the little stuff about the B2K stuff, did you really just sit there and call yourself Ree and Omarion? All that Omarion shade that you threw, shady. It wasn't cute. It didn't look cute. You looked very stupid, and you looked very, very jealous. What you need to be doing, you was running around chasing Jay Bull, trying to get him to get into a group so you could try to pick up some checks. What you need to be doing is trying to see if he could put a word in with HR and get you a job down there at the phone company answering some of them calls. That's what you need to do.
So there was a little bit of me that was excited, but mostly not. I tend to be a little like funny about new people and like getting close to people, and I'm big on energy. And so one of the things that made me want to continue to talk to Raz and work on business stuff and partner on projects was that from day one, he had a very warm spirit. He literally is one of the kindest people that I've ever met. Incredibly humble and sweet and God-fearing and just like an overall light to be around. Now, he is also a Gemini, so I have seen the other side of that, but primarily that is sort of what drew me in. As we continued to talk more often, he would start to share more like personal stuff and talk about the group a lot and talk about, you know, everything that he experienced. And I pretty much was just like a sounding board. You know, I never wanted to ask too many questions or, you know, pry like I'm trying to get some tea or something. So I really, I felt like a little honored that he trusted me to talk about this stuff and, you know, realize that sometimes people just need somebody to listen. So that's what I did. I'm not going to say any more about what those conversations entailed because it's not my story to tell. And Raz will be telling his story very. One thing that people started to ask me, people that I knew once they found out that I was working with Raz, was, do you believe his allegations? And obviously I wasn't there. I don't know. I don't have any firsthand knowledge of what happened, but I can say yes. I 100% believe that Raz's allegations are accurate. Now, they're allegations, that, you know, put that out there. But do I believe that he is telling the truth about that? Yes, I do. So one day Raz and I are talking, and I just kind of out of the blue was like, hey, do you have a publicist? And he was like, no, not really. And I said, do you want one? Meaning me. It was almost literally to the day a year before my sister and I had sat down and had a conversation about how this was something that we potentially wanted to get into. She has a PR background. She's a master's degree in PR. She had worked in PR for several years. And so I just threw it out there and I was like, you know, we would just be getting started. Like, she did PR, but not entertainment. And he was like, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. Well, I'm a legal girl, so I, of course, wanted to memorialize our conversation with a contract. I drafted something up. I sent it to him. He said, this looks good. And we decided that we should meet in person for him to sign it. Because at this point, so we're now probably like 6 weeks into meeting. We hadn't met in person yet. Now, he had also put me in contact with somebody that he was working with in Atlanta, who's also industry veteran, that wanted to be a part of the Super Bowl event. He happened to be a manager, and his clients happened to be performing at One Fest that year. So Raz was already going to be in Atlanta working on his project, and the other guy was like, hey, you know, why don't you come down? You can ride out to One Fest with us. We can talk business, basically, you know, network, all of that kind of thing. So I called up my sister, and I was like, girl, pack a bag. We're going down to Atlanta to go to One Fest. So we flew in to Atlanta and met each other in the Atlanta airport. We flew to the little Sky Club, changed our clothes, put on our faces, and we head down. So he told us to meet, everybody was going to meet in a Walmart parking lot. I told my sister that, and she was like, are we going to get kidnapped? And I was like, maybe we might get kidnapped, but we'll be together, so it's fine. So we went down, we met Raz, we gave him a Hughes box, which is just a nod to our family business.
Well, yeah.
Hey, boo, what time is it?
Oh, hold on, let me. Hey, you know what? It don't even matter.
With a bunch of strangers and drove down to the festival grounds. It was so much fun. There was music and food and lots of networking and alcohol, and it was just a good time. In real life, I hate music festivals. The last music festival I went to was like 4 years ago, and the only reason I went was because Lauryn Hill was headlining and I had to get my life. I don't like them. It's hot. There are no chairs. If you want to sit down, you have to sit in the dirt, in the grass. The bathrooms stink. Everybody's smoking weed. People are touching me. Like, I hate them. But we had a really, really good time. We caught Kalisa set, I think. And we had like a little pass where we could go between the actual festival and then like the back area. So we just like walked around the festival grounds, caught the sets that we could catch, and then it was time for the guys to perform. So we scooted on up to the front, like the very front. The only people that were in front of us was like media, the photographers and stuff. It was so loud. I turned to my sister and all she screamed was, I can't swallow, because the bass was like pumping that hard. But it was a good time, and you know, we met a lot of people. We networked a lot, and we literally that same day, so we just flew in and out. We headed back to the airport that night and flew back home. When we got back home, it was official. We just started working on Raz's project. Now, I'm super critical music-wise. Like, I will boo in a minute. Raz's music really impressed me, which just excited me more to be working on the project. Now, he tended to, especially since he had been in China for so long, to have like a EDM, K-pop, electronic kind of sound. But this project is super R&B heavy, and more than the genre, it really tells a story. So I'm super excited for it to be out. Raz is always like super humble about Omarion being the lead singer of the group, but he actually has a voice. Like, he can sing.
1, 2, warm. I got a little secret to tell ya.
He introduced us to the rest of his team, which basically consisted of 2 managers. He had a day-to-day manager that was based in Atlanta, and then he has a business manager that's based in LA. His business manager has been with him for a very, very long time, and he's a vet in the industry. He used to manage Ike Turner. His day-to-day manager, we did not see eye to eye, like from day one. He, to me in the beginning, was very aggressive. I did not like how he spoke to me. I felt like he was condescending and antagonistic and just sort of being like a pit bull for no reason. Now, I'm in the legal industry, so there's nothing wrong with being a pit bull when you need to be a pit bull. But also, especially in entertainment, you got to have a little diplomacy. You got to know how to operate the politics, and that includes having good relationships with people. So I was rubbed the wrong way from jump. Okay, we're moving, we're shaking. Raz is doing interviews. He's working on the album, working on some other things. And around maybe like the beginning of October, middle of October, he starts to talk more frequently about a potential tour. And it's like the first conversation was, okay, one member agreed, which again, I was like, okay, so that makes 2 of you. But he started to talk about it more frequently, which made me believe that it possibly was getting more serious. So at this point is when my sister starts to, I would say it's the beginning of her mentally checking out from this whole scenario, because it was just so much drama, like back and forth. And we have day jobs. We are both college professors during the day. We're both highly educated. We're highly intelligent. We're not meek about that, because we worked hard to be able to say that. And so for someone to like talk to us the way that he was and sort of dismiss us at times, she was just not here for it. It continues to get more serious, and a third member agrees. And then at this point, I could feel the excitement from Raz. You know, like, this might actually happen after 15 years of being apart. They might be doing this. I was happy for him. I was excited that the tour was going to happen, just like as a fan. But I also at this point start to say to him often, don't lose yourself and your project in B2K. My biggest worry for Raz was that he was going to be so excited about this potential tour, because right now, even artists agreeing to do it doesn't make a tour, right? So I felt like he was going to get so invested in it that he was going to stop what we had been working on, stop his album, his project, and just go full steam ahead on B2K. And honestly, like, me fearing the worst, I was like, this tour is going to fall apart before it even gets off the ground. And now we have to start from scratch on all of the solo stuff that we were working on. Then the last signature, the last official agreement for member number 4 came in, and it was just a really exciting moment. Raz called me and was like giddy, almost like sounded like a kid on Christmas or their birthday or something. Yes, I do know the order that they came in. No, I'm not going to share that little piece. It's not that important. So again, it's still, nothing is like official because you still need lots of money, sponsors, you need a promotion company, you know, a lot of things still had to happen. And truth be told, I was not really a part of any conversation. So everything that I knew was just coming from my client. So one morning I wake up, look at my phone before I even like get out of bed, and I see that Raz had called me at like maybe like 5 a.m., 4 a.m., something like that. So I'm like, okay, let me get up and get my life together and brush my teeth, and then I'll call him back and see what's the tea. But before I did that, I just got on Instagram to see what's popping. You know, that's my morning newspaper. And boom, I see the video, the promo video for the Millennium Tour. That exact moment was when I knew what the tour was called. Up till then, for me, it didn't even have a name.
After years of waiting, they're finally back. Omarion, Rogue, Fizz, and Raz B. It's B2K. It's the Millennium Tour featuring B2K. Ladies, get ready for Mario. It's Mario. The Millennium Tour with Pretty Ricky. C. Lloyd. Get crunk with the Yin Yang Twins. And Shingy. It's the Millennium Tour featuring B2K, coming to a city near you. For tour dates and ticketing info, log on to gsquaredevents.com.
Now, the video was a little ghetto, if you ask me, but that's just my opinion. I call him back, and as soon as he says hello, I'm like, oh my God, this is happening. And he's screaming and going crazy. And it was just a really cool moment to have, even though I came in like at the tail end, Raz does not get the credit that he deserves for making that tour happen. He put in a lot of time and energy and connections to actually having this happen. So to be able to see how invested he was in it and for it to come to fruition was just really great. I didn't know it at the time, but that was going to be one of my last few moments of sanity for months and months. This experience was crazy. It was traumatic to me at times. There were also some really high moments, some really great moments, and I definitely got a crash course in the music industry, both the surface level but also the underbelly of the industry that I will utilize going forward as I continue to work in this industry. So stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, put your notifications on so you will be ready for episode 2. It gets good. And I'm out. Bye.